NEST, which is when we start the free to the public live lab. So this is where we just put out some information, answer questions from the general public who are not necessarily part of the Algo Factory private group. So, but what I'm going to do is put up a QR code. You can zap that with your phone or however you want to do it. You can just go to the website, www.algofactory.tech, to see what we do. Basically, what we do is we help people learn how to trade, and we help them build algorithms that they can eventually have coded, and they can have the computer trade those as they walk away. There's a lot that goes into that, though. So again, go to that website, check us out. And right now, we're going to go ahead and hop into the content. Looking to see if there are any questions yet from either the private group. Nothing in the chat I can see. Of course, this is a small cast. You haven't really marketed yet, so we're not seeing a whole lot of people from the quote-unquote public. We just haven't pushed it out there yet. We're kind of keeping this small for the moment. And that's kind of nice because that means if you have questions, there is a decent chance at me answering them. For the moment, I'm going to go ahead and put the link over in Discord. Give me just a moment here. Okay. Join us live. Okay. All right. Okay, so market is just opening, and Monday morning opens are kind of funky. Yeah, I did have a trade last week's Monday open, and I was in profit right before the open. I didn't take profit. I went ahead, I set my stop loss right at break even, and the trade stopped out. I didn't lose anything. So I'm going to hold off on trading before Monday's open, unless I'm trading like Sunday night after, like say during the Asian Open or maybe the European Open. That's, if I get a wild hair and I decide that I want to stay up that late and do that kind of thing, then, money can be made that way. But usually it's the Monday New York Open when things, really start to move. Valley Girl in the chat with us. Good to see you, my lady. So I guess what we'll do is we're going to go through the week's events. I know Wednesday, Wednesday is the bigger event. That's FOMC. This is the Fed Open Market Committee, which is when the Federal Reserve talks about what their upcoming guidance is. Well, you get more of that the next week. But anyway, they talk about what's going on with well, they'll announce their interest rate, or, they'll have a little bit of press conference afterwards to talk about some forward guidance. They'll discuss how they're feeling about, whether or not they'll hike again next month or what kind of conditions they're going to look for. And for those new to the market and trading, what the Federal Reserve, the Fed funds rate basically is, it's like the base rate upon which all loans are set in the United States, and it affects everything around the world, seeing as the United States dollar still is more or less the reserve currency. So as the Fed comes out with their information, we're going to know whether or not, money is going to be more expensive. And just to make it really simple for everybody, all money is debt in most countries at this point. I don't think there's any money out there that's backed by anything physical at this point. I know there is the BRICS nations, the Chinese gold trade note, and that is partially backed by gold. It's a pretty small instrument, though. It's not really making a dent in things, not yet. And until gold is severely revalued, it's not going to. So, we march on with the current monetary system. And I know a lot of people have complaints about the current system, but the reality is that the current system is relatively stable, and it will be until it's not. And we don't know how long that's going to take. Is it going to take 20 years? Is it going to take 2 years? There's a lot of doomers and gloomers out there, but the reality is that the system is relatively stable, and most important people around the world are continuing to agree to use it. So until that changes, we are going to trade along with how that goes, whether we like it or whether we don't, because it is not our job to criticize the market as traders. We can criticize the market as individuals. We can criticize the market as economic, critics, But as a trader, it's not our job to criticize the market, because it is our job to trade along with the market that exists, not to trade a market that we dream about, and wish existed. Just different things. All right. So, and that's good for beginners to hear. This being the beginner live lab, you have a lot of people who, the Federal Reserve is evil. And okay, I'm not saying it's good, but it just is what it is. I mean, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, maybe it's not any of these things. It just is the system. So again, we look at the data, we trade along with that, and we make money, and we pull that money out, and we do whatever we do with it. I personally like to turn at least a portion of my profits into things like precious metals or cryptocurrency, or maybe even further down the road, some real estate speculation, things that are real, hard assets. And actually, what I'd really like to do is take a fair chunk of money and put it into a machine shop, because I have that whole setup kind of built into my family. And, I think physical production is the future. I think we're going to have to go through some rocky times. But the thing about building a physical business during rocky times is that if you survive, you're lean and mean, and you can make it. You'll get rich in the easy times, because you're used to making the sacrifices that it takes to stay alive in the hard times. So that said, calendar Monday, that's tonight at 9:30 p.m. EST, is the Australian Monetary Policy meeting minutes. So the minutes, for those who want to know what that means, minutes are at any corporate meeting, right? Any meeting of a corporation of any kind, whether it's an LLC or there is somebody who records those meetings, right? So the board of what do you call it? The board will all meet, and then there will be an individual who records everything. It might be a computer, and all of the things that are said during that meeting are transcribed into what are called minutes. Well, I know with the Fed, this Wednesday is the actual Fed Open Market Committee, right? That's the committee, the group of people who discuss what they're going to do. And now, once that information comes out, it's usually about a week later that we get the Fed's minutes. And the Fed's minutes is what I just described, that the transcription of the meeting itself that is had prior to the announcement that we hear. And when we hear those minutes, what we hear are sort of the internal details of what they're talking about. And it gives us a form of forward guidance, because we actually get an insight into what was said during those meetings. And then, of course, we can tell the kind of attitude they have towards future rate hikes, towards, what needs to happen in order to not hike anymore. And, in terms of what might happen that would cause more hikes, that kind of thing, right? And then we can, of course, take a look at the economy and the news, and start to make our forecasts, or at least know which way the wind is blowing, which, of course, when you know which way the wind is blowing, then that can help you in trading, especially if you are a trend trader, which I am. I will not get into that right now. Let's just say that I take reversals and I wait for a miniature trend to establish, and then I buy a pullback or sell a pullback. So I'm kind of a little bit of both, but that's getting a little into the weeds for us beginners. Tuesday. So again, Monday night. I say night. That's in the U.S. So 9:30 EST PM monetary policy meeting minutes for the Royal Australian Bank. So that's like the Fed minutes, but for Australia. 6:30 is some important information for Canada. So if you like to trade the loonie, which is the USD CAD pair in Forex, then you're looking at some pretty big news tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. It's the CPI. So that's basically the inflation numbers for Canada happening tomorrow. So, and I'll just do a quick note. Remember, you all can do what you want to do. I don't trade news events. I at least wait until the news is out. Excuse my sniffing here. I wait till the news is out, and I wait until the news is digested by the market, right? I let the market and all the wild candles kind of calm down, and then establish a direction. And then I look for trades, and I try to take advantage of the volatility. So I do, technically, you could say I do trade the news, but I wait for that news to come out. I don't have trades on prior to the news, because to me, that's just gambling. There's a lot of times the news comes out. I mean, people say, oh, this might happen, that might happen, but nobody really knows. So, like, for example, Wednesday, this is a good example. I have some pretty smart guys who have been pretty accurate at predicting what the Fed is going to do, right? And right now they're saying that a 25 basis point hike is priced in. What does that mean? It means that the Fed is expected to hike rates on Wednesday. We're going to talk about that here on the chart, on the data here in a second. In fact, I'll scroll down to it, but we're going to talk about the CPI first. But anyway, the point here is that they're predicting that there's going to be a 25 basis point hike in the Fed funds rate, and then that it's already priced into the market. So what they're trying to say is that because it's priced into the market is not going to move very much based on that. It's expected. There can be a surprise. There may be no hike. There may be a 50 basis point hike. And if those two things happen, then there is going to be some surprise movement. But that is what their prediction is for movement or no movement, that kind of thing. So that said, back to the CPI, the inflation numbers are important because right now the general wisdom is that if the inflation comes in high, then there will be more cuts. I'm sorry, forgive me, that was not true. If inflation comes in high, there will be more hikes, right? Because so hiking the interest rate makes money more expensive. Expensive money means less investment. Less investment means number go down when it comes to your stocks, and businesses don't get as much money, and the economy kind of calms down or even suffers, and that's going to bring inflation down. It causes basically disinflation, and at a certain point, deflation, right? They're trying to avoid a severely deflationary event, but they're trying to kind of force a small one. So the CPI, that information is going to give us a clue as to what the Canadian Central Bank is going to do with regards to hikes or no hikes or anything like that. And the United States CPI, which is going to have the largest effect, was last week. So, that's part of why they think a 25 basis point hike is priced in for Wednesday of this week. If you're trading the Chinese yuan, there are some prime rate data coming out 9:15 EST tomorrow night. I don't really trade that. And then you have your CPI, your inflation number for the pound, for the British pound. That's going to be at 2 a.m. EST on Wednesday. Okay, so I think that's 2 and 5, so 7 a.m. UK time, if I'm not mistaken. That's UTC. All right, so then, of course, the big event, Wednesday, the federal funds rate, FOMC projections, FOMC statement, press conference. That's all going on at about 2 p.m. EST on Wednesday through probably about 2:45 or 3. So that's, and that's going on. So Wednesday is going to be kind of a non-trading day. There's going to be a lot of nothing going on leading up to that event because money is going to be a lot of it on the sidelines waiting for this data to come out. And in markets, you can pretty much count on money being in the sidelines prior to large events, right? So like last week was the triple which basically was the options expiration for 3 major markets, and that was the largest one on record for September. And so the volatility was like kind of dead up until that. Really, the volatility came back a little bit the day before when some of the inflation numbers came out. Not the CPI, but the PPI. The volume did come back surprisingly prior to the OPEX, but that might be because the funds needed to push price in a certain direction to stay in the money, and that we're going way into the weeds for the beginners. But if you all have questions about the OPEX and those kinds of things, feel free to ask it. I can answer it. But for now, the main event is going to be Wednesday. I'll probably not trade. And for those of you who actually know what I have going on at home, which is, it's wonderful. I have great things going on, but I might actually be personally taking a day or two off. So this is a good week to do it because leading up to FOMC, the market just is pretty quiet, even on the day before. So that said, that we should see a lot of action that day. And after the announcement, it's really close, or at least closer than is comfortable for me for market close. So I might day trade because I don't generally keep positions on overnight. It's not something I like to do. I will under certain circumstances, but Once the market closes, I like to be out of a trade, and that's because of there's something called the spread. And let me see here. Speaking of the spread, we got the
Hey,
real.
somebody said spread.
What's up, dude?
That's okay, guys. I apologize for the lateness this morning, man. Everything that could go wrong went wrong this morning.
Oh, well, it happens. It
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, I almost. There was a chance I wasn't going to be here for good reasons. You know what that is.
Yeah, of course.
We had some early signs last night, so we'll
Jeez.
talk about that in the private group.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not gonna talk details, but I'll just make the basics known. But we're just talking about the week coming up with the FOMC and all that kind of stuff. So I've heard that there is a 25 bip hike priced in. Does that sound about right to you?
That sounds very accurate. That sounds very accurate.
Yeah, I've got some guys that are real good that I've been talking to for the last couple months. These guys are animals, and they're pretty good. Although I don't like to trade it, but I'm watching them. If they can get the FOMC prediction, their forecast correct, like 70% of the time, I'll start spread betting it. Why not? Why not? But yeah, we were just going over the week. So, Wednesday we got through FOMC. New Zealand's GDP, if you like to trade the Kiwi at all, that is going to be at about 6:45 p.m. EST on Wednesday evening, and you might get a little action on that for the Asian Open. The Thursday is the Swiss version of FOMC, and that's at 3:30 a.m. EST. And the Swissy is powerful. So there's a lot of the USD CHF. I love trading it. That's the dollar, the Swissy, dollar franc. That's a beautiful one to trade. It's relatively responsive, not too much BS on the charts. And then you get more data for the British pound at 7 a.m. EST on Thursday, the 21st, and that's going to be kind of like their Fed. I don't know. Yeah, that's basically their Fed. They're going to talk about their bank rate, so it's the same kind of thing. And then 6:30 on Thursday is the unemployment. So I probably wouldn't trade on Thursday until after the market digests everything, including the unemployment claims. Unemployment claims is a weekly number, so it doesn't tend to be a huge surprise. It just adds a little volatility. It can be fun to trade that if you want to wait. I wait till it's digested, but that will add volatility. This is interesting. I don't know why the Japanese always have for the Japanese yen. I don't understand why they always have a tentative date for their monetary policy statement. They want it to be like a surprise. I think it might have to do with making money in the markets. That's just my own opinion. But they do have their monetary policy statement and press conference coming tentatively Thursday afternoon, evening. I imagine that's kind of like the Asian Open. So that might be something to look at. And then some European manufacturing data on to 3:30 a.m. Friday EST. And same with Europe a little bit later. And then same with the US at 9:45 a.m. So there is a lot of data this week. And that's good. It adds volatility to the market. And if you're somebody like me who is a little more cautious, again, I use that volatility, but I wait until that data is those data are digested into the market. So yeah, that's that. What do you think, V? What do you think? Anything remarkable coming this week? That remember, we're on the this is the nothing. Yeah, it's a beginner live lab. So even if you had some, it's not something you might share in here. But we had a hell of a drip session. So for the beginners who might be new, V, can you tell everybody what the drip session is and how amazing it is?
The drip session is when I use hot chili oil and I drip it ever so copiously on my body on live cam, and then I massage it into my shoulders, and the audience gets to partake.
You get me hot and bothered here.
Yes, it's very.
I mean, hot and bothered by the chili sauce. It hurts, dude. I'm not hot and bothered in a.
But it's very good for muscle pain. It's very good for muscle pain. It's
after
better than Bengay. Sure. I stopped using Bengay because of there's a specific word in there that I don't no longer. I'm not a supportive until they change that.
Well, that's because you don't like the racial slur that is.
Yeah, I think it's a slur. I think Ben
It's a
Gay's a
slur.
slur. I want
Yeah,
them
they
to
shouldn't be
remove it.
using that term like that. That should use.
Just like they got rid of Aunt Jemima and every black character on every product. Uncle Ben's is gone, Aunt Jemima's gone. I mean, they're all gone. So it's time for Ben Gay to go, man.
Yep, Ben Gay needs to be Ben Dover.
My OnlyFans subscription is free. It's free, Brad. Brad King's asking if what my subscription for OnlyFans. It's free. I'm very cheap. And it's pretty awesome. But anyway,
what does all three of your fans
is.
say? By the way, they
all three of my subscribers at OnlyFans. I've also converted them into the Chinese hot oil, and the hot oil you can find at any Chinese takeout restaurant is typically sold as given to you as a condiment, as a accoutrement to your pork fried rice and whatever victuals you would order from Chinese takeout. You would then proceed to use the hot oil as a body rub. It's very exfoliating, deep. The capsaicin that is within there is very good for muscle relaxing and pain. And it can be very, very well thrilling if you were to accidentally, touch your nether regions. And
did you just use the word victuals earlier?
Victuals, yes.
That's
victuals.
Beautiful, dude. That's almost because if it's hillbilly,
that is 16th century. That is 16th century Elizabethan English.
Yeah, y'all gonna eat them vittles? That's where the word vittles is really victuals, but then you in some backward southern place there. Are y'all gonna eat them vittles?
Vittles? I had no idea, man.
No, that's it. I'm telling you. That's
you had me fooled, cowboy.
Y'all had me fooled.
Y'all had me fooled. But yeah, the drip
hold
session
on,
is
basically. What we're gonna do now? We're gonna trade down in Kentucky. Just kidding. I love my people from the South. I'm not making fun.
I love Kentucky. I was in Louisville. Very nice city. Very nice.
Dude, I've never been to Louisville. But I'll tell you what, Nashville was one of the best.
Nashville's awesome.
Best trips I ever took, dude. I love Nashville.
Yeah. Nashville's very nice. But yes, folks. So the drip sessions are basically I drop intelligence that are geoeconomic and geostrategic for the broader market and
Tennessee,
economy.
It's not Kentucky. Sorry to interrupt. I can't let us be that ignorant, bro. I can't let us be that ignorant. It's Tennessee. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I totally interrupted the question that I asked you about, and you're totally like on a roll. And I'm like, no, we can't see.
You screwed it up. It's okay. It's Monday morning. It's fine. All right. It's fine, man. It's fine. Yes. Anyway, guys. So it's every week I drop some key pieces of intel from the boardroom to your bedroom. That sounds like an OnlyFans pitch, but it's not. It's from the boardroom to your ears. What a lot of movers and shakers are talking about. The people that are connected to some very high level finance. Some of the names are if I were mentioned here, would be pretty well known. With a simple Google search, you'll see some of these guys that are very well accomplished, and they're out there on Front Street with some very large firms. So that's what we do, and we kick back and watch the macro play out, and Cowboy does the technicals, and it's totally amazing.
No, the gorilla. And we're almost done here, but just so you all know the history, I've been following I've been following V the Gorilla stuff since like 2017, and his macro is more on point than anybody I know. It's as simple as that. And I don't mean anybody I know personally. I mean anybody I've followed. There's nobody whose macro has been more accurate, and that has to do with the relationships that he's developed over the years. Starting from the precious and strategic metals going back 20 years ago at least, and then all the people you've worked with over the years and the connections you've made have given you a lot of word as far as what's going to happen, and it's been accurate. You know what I mean? You are better than 80% of the time accurate.
Yeah,
better than 80% of the the time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's Hall of Fame right there, man.
That's God mode, dude. There's no one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to kiss your butt here. I mean, I'll do that when I come visit. That's for later.
Hey, just bring the chili oil.
You and your chili oil.
You know what I'm talking about? Come on, you're in LA. You you hit the Chinese spots.
Yeah.
You get they give you that chili oil. The dark
that
chili oil.
Dude.
Awesome,
we used to we used to take that chili oil home. Like we used to
Yeah,
ask for
same.
extra chili oil, and dude, that
Yep.
stuff's good for like, dude, I got some in the fridge that I left in LA in my in-laws' house. That's probably still good from 4 years ago.
Yep. Exactly. It's so good.
So, and plus, at one point 20 years ago, I was a hot sauce fanatic. Like my dad is like, you're
I
never
still
gonna
am.
get.
I switched over from like hot sauce right now. You know what I'm in love with? Don Chilios is a company that makes like habanero flakes, serrano chili flakes,
I'm still on
jalapeno.
Truff, dude.
Truff is awesome. I love Truff. All you need is Truff and Don Chilios. That's all you need. You don't need any other hot sauce. Dude, I'm a hot sauce fanatic. I have like collections of hot sauce. I have a make your own hot sauce kit. Like most guys like microbrewing beer at their house. I'm doing hot sauce, bro. I'm crazy, right? Don Chilios. Find it online. Don Chilios, spelled Chilios. Chilios. Thank me later. And find out what your heat level is. Whether I like the habanero, you don't have to use a lot of it. It's just these dried up pepper flakes that are in a extra virgin olive oil. It is phenomenal, and it's mostly like 90% flake, maybe 10% oil, so it's like not oily or anything like that. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
That and Truff is all you need. I love Truff, man.
Truff is so, dude. I sent you a picture. I found it at Costco. Like, you want to get Truff online? It's like $15, just a little tiny
You found it
bottle.
at Costco?
Yeah, bro. I sent you a picture of it like a month or two ago. They had it on sale. I got
How
it
much?
for like less than maybe seven. I don't know, $7.20 a bottle.
That's sick.
I bought like 4 of them.
Dude, that is sick.
I sent you a picture of like, here, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. See if I can find this display. I don't know where the heck I sent it. Whether it was text or on, we call that thing Telegram, but let's see if I can find it. But it's this giant display with like 1,000 bottles of it, and it was on sale. But it's still going to be like $9 a bottle, I think, or less than that. It's a hell of a deal. Because that stuff, dude, you go look for Truff online. It's pricey.
Yeah, it is. It's like $15 a bottle retail.
Yeah, it's retail. So, but I got it for half that.
Sick.
So if I can't, I don't know, if I can't find this picture like in the next 10 seconds, I'm going to say forget about it. But I'll tell you what, man, that Truff is good. It's truffle infused hot sauce, and I think it's pretty healthy.
It is. I get their extra hot. That's so good.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know they had an extra hot. I just get their regular product.
Amazing. On wings, on steak, I put that on everything, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Of course, and then of course, classic sriracha. I mean, come on.
Yeah, sriracha's good. It's got some ingredients in it that I try to avoid.
Like what?
I'd have to look again to even know what they are.
There's nothing in there, man.
Okay, we'll see.
Kind of sriracha you taking, huh?
All right, hold on. We're if you're gonna go there, let's see.
Yeah, let's go there, man.
Sriracha sauce.
The real one from Tong Fong.
Yeah, the one that's they used to make that stuff where I grew up.
Yep,
close to where I grew up. They actually had to like
straight from Thailand via LA.
Yeah, straight from Thailand. You can use that. Okay, may contain chemicals, whatever. That's okay. Chili, sugar, salt, garlic, acetic acid, potassium sorbate, and sodium. So the potassium sorbate and sodium bisulfate, that's not. You don't want those. Those are preservatives.
Yeah, but that's potassium sorbate is a preservative, man. It is no harm. It is inert.
I don't know about that.
What are you talking? Pull it up. Come on.
Sodium bisulfate.
The bisulfate, I'm not so sure about, but the potassium sorbate is pretty inert. It's like nothing.
We'll start with the sodium bisulfate then. Usually, if it's something that isn't like an ingredient that you can get in nature, I'm not that interested in it.
You can get potassium sorbate in nature.
Or
you can get monosodium glutamate in nature as well.
Oh yeah, well I trust stuff. Sodium nitrates, okay. But is a food additive generally recognized as safe according to Wikipedia, which is run by 3-letter agencies, when used as preservative, but banned in meats, foods recognized as a source of vitamin B1 and raw fresh fruits or vegetables. So it is banned in meats and fruits and vegetables. No, additives other than colors and sweeteners. However, some farmers continue to use sulfites like sodium bisulfate, which can cause side effects such as abdominal pain, diarrhea, hives, low blood pressure, and even life-threatening anaphylaxis. So that's just what it causes on the surface. We don't know what it's
sodium bisulfate. Everybody could use a little low blood pressure in this country, okay?
Yeah. along with
Right.
anaphylaxis. What was the other one? Potassium sorbate?
Potassium sorbate, yeah.
Minor side effects, allergic reactions, nausea, diarrhea, nutrient loss in food. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
sound like a good idea.
but at what dosage, man? You know how many grams of it you got to consume to have that happen? You know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can consume as many grams of strawberries until I get sick, and I'm not going to have those kind of problems.
Hey, listen, man. I can consume as much blackberries as possible, and then it's like The Exorcist at that point.
Well, your head turns around, you start vomiting pea soup.
No, I'm not
All right, with
vomiting.
that
I'm really
image, we're
bad.
going to hop off of the live lab here, but let me go ahead and flash up the QR code.
Flash them, cowboy. Flash them.
Flash. I love flashing people. It's like
You're
what I do.
a serial flasher.
Jay Martin, no, not coming down with a cold. I have seasonal allergies.
It's the worst. I
Or
hate
it
seasonal
might
allergies.
also be that I had too much sugar. My body doesn't like sugar. So I did party a little bit yesterday, and that might be why I'm having that. So, but we have the same
Stop
change of the
partying,
season.
man.
When I say party, I mean I had like maybe 4 squares of not dark chocolate. It's like me partying. I can't do sugar, dude. My body won't take it.
Yeah, same.
Let's see here, but yeah, it's sugar.
Except when it's a New York cheesecake, or tiramisu, or a shuida, or or an almond croissant. Then I'll excuse myself. But I don't eat sweets often. It's like once in a while.
Yeah, I mean even the sugar that's in like truff is like that's my limit.
Yeah.
So no colds over here. Seahawk party. Jay Martin says, yeah, it's fine. I like watching sports, but I just don't have time for it. I don't have time to watch other men getting after it.
Hey, why not? It's exciting.
Well, I mean, it is exciting, but it's I had a friend actually, and my wife's friend and her husband came out. He's a good dude, and we watched Sunday football. This is like I don't know, back in the last season, and it's an all day event. Like, and you're just sitting there all day and drinking and watching football, and that's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. But for the things that I have to do, for all the stuff I have to do, it doesn't fit into my schedule. That's just what it is. I got a lot going on, man. I'm trying to put a dent in the world, and watching other dudes get after it on TV for 8 hours a day.
Watch Men in Tights.
Yeah, that's different. That's Men in Tights is actually something that is going to help me get after it.
Oh yeah,
gets me inspired. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm inspired.
I'm inspired. All right, here we go. Let's hop off here. We'll go over to I got the QR code, flashed it earlier. Go over to the website algofactory.tech. We don't just play around, joke about Men in Tights all day. We do a lot of trading stuff.
Or chili oil. We take our work very seriously. Join us or die.
Join us. Now, dude, you remember this? I'll get you next time. Gotcha.
Yes, that's Dr. Claw.
Yeah. Yeah, I just busted that out last week. I'm like, oh, that's right. I could do a Dr. Claw. But yeah, so at any rate, we we don't just sit here and screw around. But sometimes we do, and it's fun. Either that, other than that, we do actually some pretty productive stuff. But let's hop over. Everybody, come join us. Catch you later. Peace. Actually, I didn't even let the gorilla do his send off, but I just did it anyway. Gorilla, you got it most days.
Baby.
Hasta la pasta.